Hello, everybody. Liv Moods here with Guerilla Sports to talk a little bit about the game that we just watched between the Denver Nuggets and the Toronto Raptors. This is a little post-game recap here. If you weren't watching the game, let me just put it this way. A lot of things that I was concerned about in game one and game two. I saw a little light at the end of the tunnel. I saw some life in this Denver Nuggets team. Now, don't get me wrong. The light at the end of the tunnel might be an iPhone flashlight right now. It's not super bright. It's not super big. It's not really lighting up the tunnel, but it is there. We saw some things that are making me feel like, okay, it may not be a brutal 82-game season with this Denver Nuggets team. This is still a talented roster. And honestly, on paper, they should have beat the Clippers. They should have been able to keep it competitive with OKC. But unfortunately, the Nuggets started their season 0-2. So to see them bounce back and get a win over the Raptors, 127-125 after taking it into overtime was a really great feeling. Let's talk about taking it into overtime. Jamal Murray with one of those Murray flurry moments, okay? That buzzer beater with final seconds on the clock to take this game into OT. That is the Jamal Murray that the Nuggets paid for. That is the Jamal Murray that we saw glimpses of in the Lakers series last postseason. That is the Jamal Murray that we need moving forward in order for this Nuggets team to not only have a successful season, but to even compete to be in the playoffs, because we know the Western Conference is tough. Now, I want to talk about a couple of notes that I've got here. The Nuggets with the turnovers, still not great. We've got to tighten up on turnovers. We're giving too many opportunities to the other team to get points on the board when we are struggling in that department even still, despite getting a win. 5 turnovers from Aaron Gordon, 1 from Michael Porter Jr., 3 from Nikola Jokic, 0 from Jamal Murray. Loved seeing that. 1 from CB in the starting lineup. 1 from Strother, 2 from Westbrook, 1 from Peyton Watson. The turnovers, let's tighten those up. Those are silly little mistakes that this Nuggets team does not need to make that are making it harder for them to get wins and will continue to make it harder for them to get wins in the regular season. Now, I want to talk about what we saw offensively. Nikola Jokic, again, with another dominating performance. Not a triple-double, but a double-double, 40-point double-double, and a 10-point rebounding game with 4 assists. Now, Jamal Murray, I said earlier on my show today that 22 points, that is bare minimum. We saw him with some life in the last game. He had 17 points in this one, 0 of 2 from 3. Of course, we would love to see a little bit more three-point shooting from Jamal Murray, given that volume three-point shooting is something that they hounded on in media day and something that we know the Nuggets are going to need to work on and tighten up on in this upcoming season after losing KCP. So would love to see more threes from him. Nikola Jokic, 3 of 5 from 3. MPJ, 1 of 4 from 3, and he was 0 of 6 last game against the Clippers from the 3. So I just want to see MPJ taking more shots. We know that they will fall, so keep shooting. Jamal Murray, play harder for longer, because when we see him in his best form, it's chef's kiss. He's the reason that we were sent into overtime. He's the reason that we kept it close in this game. So I like seeing that from Jamal Murray. We just need to see it for longer. We can't have this Nuggets team starting as slow as they've been starting. This Nuggets team notoriously has been really great at starting games off really strong, playing really fast-paced basketball, and coming out the gates and giving teams a really hard time. But what we're seeing now is them actually getting outscored in the first half. We've seen that so far this season. I know it's only been 3 games, but it is going to set the tone for the remainder of their season, because I've kept saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. They're playing tired and slow basketball out the gates, and we can't allow that, especially not as a team in the Western Conference. The Western Conference will be a bloodbath this season. The Denver Nuggets only scoring 29 in the first quarter, 25 in the second, and then outscored the Raptors in the third quarter. The third quarter seems to be our sweet spot. We even saw that in the Lakers series. When they would be down by a 20-point deficit at halftime, they found a way to claw back in that third quarter. In the fourth quarter, they also outscored the Raptors. So now I'm wondering, is this Nuggets team a second half team this season? They just might be. And honestly, it makes me stressed out. I don't like going into halftime in a deficit. It doesn't feel good and it doesn't feel comfortable, because typically that's actually where we lose the Denver Nuggets. Normally, like I said, they come out the gates really hot, really fast, really strong, really aggressive. Now we're seeing the opposite. So it's appearing like this Nuggets team may be a second half team this season. I'm not a fan of it, but if it helps them win games, so be it. I just love seeing a win. Like I said, Nuggets on top in this one, 127-125, 40-point performance by Nikola Jokic. Aaron Gordon with a pretty good performance himself, 16 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, nearly a triple-double for AG. However, those 5 turnovers, that is the downside of Aaron Gordon's game right now. If he can tighten up those turnovers, to me, he had a really, really strong performance and was an incredible 2 of 2 from the 3. I love seeing Aaron Gordon not only take 3-point shots, but make 3-point shots. It does make a difference, and it is very important. Have to give a shout out to Christian Braun, who had a really great performance against OKC despite falling short to that team. 17 points for him in this one. He was 1 of 4 from 3, so would love to see a few more of those threes fall, but did have a really great performance offensively. Russell Westbrook, again, would love to see some of those turnovers tighten up for him. He only had 2 in this one, but there were a lot of close calls in this game for Russell Westbrook. He got into it a little bit with Scotty Barnes. It got a little chippy there. I know a lot of you that are non-Nuggets fans are probably thinking, hey, would this game have ended differently if Scotty Barnes was in for the remainder of the game? He went out with an injury. Looks like he took a blow to the face. I think it was late in the fourth quarter, but that's neither here nor there. This is a win for the Nuggets, and I think it's really good for this Nuggets team to see that they've still got something there. There are 4 starting members of this roster that are from the NBA championship squad. They should be better than their 1 and 2 start here. I'm excited to see, again, that little light at the end of the tunnel. It's not a bright one, it's not a big one, but there was life in this Denver Nuggets team today, and I was really happy to see that. I found myself cheering for things that I normally wouldn't cheer for in a Nuggets game. Made free throws, passes without turnovers, 3-point shots being made. I mean, there were little details that I was celebrating because we weren't seeing those in game 1 and game 2. So if we can just see some progression from game 1 and game 2, so on and so forth, I will feel a whole lot better about this Denver Nuggets team. So like I said, really great performance. I also saw a little bit more life from Peyton Watson. He had 6 points in this one, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. We're getting a little bit of rhythm there for Peyton Watson. Keep in mind, we didn't see any minutes from Peyton Watson in the preseason, so he's kind of being thrown in with fresh legs, one would say, but there is that lack of chemistry still that I am missing from this Denver Nuggets team. They're not in sync like they normally are, and honestly, the Raptors looked like the NBA champions of 2023, that it factor that the Nuggets had the year that they won, where everything just seemed to be so in sync. They felt virtually unstoppable. We saw that with the Raptors in the first half of this basketball game, and even in moments in the third and fourth quarter. So if this Nuggets team can get in sync, I'm feeling a whole lot better. I am still feeling pretty disappointed in Dario Saric in the mix with this Nuggets team. I was hoping he could be a reliable backup big to alleviate Nikola Jokic from some of his minutes. But Nikola Jokic in this one, 43 minutes played. Aaron Gordon just behind him with 42. We've got to get a deeper and more reliable bench. Our bench just needs to find their rhythm. Our bench needs to get going here so that our starters aren't having to play damn near full minutes in a basketball game in order to stay alive for this Nuggets team. So those are my biggest takeaways. We saw some life in this team. Like I said, a win, 127-125 in overtime. There is life in this Nuggets team. Now, will they build off of that? That is up to them. But so far, based on this game alone, we are heading in a better direction. So that is my recap for you. Let's go Denver Nuggets. Let's hope they can build on this as they continue their little road stretch here. We'll be giving you updates and post-game recaps all season long with the Denver Nuggets, so make sure you're tuning in to All Things Guerilla Sports. I'm Liv Moods. This has been your recap for the Nuggets-Raptors game. The Nuggets will be on the road for a few more games here, so fingers crossed we can keep building off of the positive things that we saw in this game and continue to tidy up some of the negative things that we saw in this game. Let's go Nuggets!